beautiful butterflies, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Beverly, this is Gizmo, and today we're doing the chronic illness community tag. This tag was started up by Georgina's Journey along with Izzy Kornblau. I will leave links to both their videos down below. It was a very enjoyable tag to watch and I'm excited that I got tagged. Definitely go and check out their channels if you haven't already. Go subscribe and all that good stuff. But today we're just answering some questions. Now you might have seen another chronic illness tag floating around the interwebs. This is a new one that they just made up. So if you've done the other tag, you can still do this one. It's cool, everyone's welcome. So let's get to it, shall we? So question number one is, what is your diagnosis? So I have ME, which is chronic fatigue syndrome. I have Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, the hypermobile type. I've got generalized anxiety disorder, depression, fibromyalgia, something else. I can't remember. Anyway, I've got lots of little floaty around things. A lot of fun. And number two is, does chronic illness affect the way you dress? If you follow me on Instagram, you'll know that I love dressing vintage, like I love getting dressed up in pretty dresses and stuff, and I would say yes, it's a big reason why I dress that way. I found that I was just wearing pyjamas or leggings every day, and a lot of people with chronic illness do this. I still have the occasional day when I just stay in my pyjamas or I just throw on some leggings and a t-shirt. But I find it really cheers me up to put together a nice outfit, find some pretty accessories, get dressed up a bit. It just helps my depression. But I do find that you have to be careful. If I'm having a wheelchair day, I don't put a petticoat, you know, the ones that poof out your skirts. I don't put those on. And you have to be careful of the length of skirt that you're going to wear, because some skirts are not appropriate for sitting down all day. But other than that, not really. I tend to just dress to make myself happy, and that's it really. Has anyone ever made chronic illness feel like a competition? I had a friend who used to. She once had a headache and moaned about it for about 6 hours. We were out away on a little holiday together for a few days, and she literally complained all day. And I had been in like chronic, really bad pain and not said a word. And it felt like, oh, we're pushing you in the wheelchair, but really I'm the one who's sick. That friend quickly had to go. And on social media you see this sort of thing. Do you have any pets that give you comfort when you're feeling ill? And the Gizmo appears. This is Gizmo, he's my best friend. We're alone at home most of the time. If I'm not feeling well, he stays in bed with me. He sits by me most of the day and we just kind of chill out together. He's my best friend and he's the coolest, so I love him. What's something my illness affects people wouldn't expect, sorry. I think people don't realise how much fatigue affects what you can actually do. There are days when I can't even walk. It takes about 10 steps to get to our ensuite bathroom. And on bad days I have to hold on to Lee, and he kind of walks me to the bathroom and helps me get changed and things like that. And a lot of the time that's because of fatigue. Like if your fatigue hits, people think it's just like, oh, I'm tired after work, I've got fatigue. Like they don't understand that literally you can't talk properly, you can't think straight, you can't walk properly because your brain can't process how to do things. It's very hard. And I've had people call me lazy. Even in my family, I've had people call me lazy because I use a wheelchair. And make jokes like, oh, you only use that so you could have the disabled parking. Like, but no, it's a preventative measure. A lot of the time I will use a wheelchair if I know there's going to be a lot of walking involved in my day out, if I'm going shopping or something, or we're going to a concert or something like that. I will use a wheelchair so that the next day I'm not literally in hospital. I'm in so much pain. And I think people don't expect that a lot of the things that I do are preventing crashes and flares. And so they'll say like, oh, you're so much better than you used to be. No, my pain is actually worse. My fatigue is worse, but I now know how to pace myself. I now know how to control my pain relief. I have ways of dealing with things much better than I used to have. So I have less times having to go to the hospital and stuff like that. So I think people don't expect that. I don't realise it. If I could change one thing in relation to my illness, what would it be? It would probably be, I think it would be mobility aids that are more useful and more multi-purpose. So you could just throw one thing into the back of the car and it would be fine. Like any day I go out, it would turn into a wheelchair, or it could turn into a walking frame, or a bit that's a walking stick. Do you know what I mean? Like more mobility aids that had multi-purpose, because not everybody uses just a walking stick. I have a walking stick here, if you can see, right here. Some days I don't need it, some days I do. Some days I need a wheelchair. I just wish there were more things that you could put together. I don't know how that would work though, but it would be really cool, wouldn't it? Do you consider your chronic illness a disability? I would say yes. Because it stops me doing everyday things. Like my fatigue, my pain stops me doing things. My anxiety disorder stops me going out of the house on my own. My depression stops me doing things. So they all have things about them that stop me doing things and keep me basically in one room of the house 95% of my life. Not going out, not seeing many people, and it's frustrating and very hard to deal with. So I would consider it a disability. Yes, I would. Any funny chronic illness stories? This is one I've had to think about. And a lot of the stories that I would have said are funny. Now I look back on it and I'm like, that's not actually funny. But at the time I probably thought it was funny. But I will tell you a story about going to Edinburgh Film Festival. Because it's nice. It's a nice thing that happened because of my disability. I was in a wheelchair, and I've always been a big fan of Joss Whedon, and at the time he had just brought out Serenity. So he was there for Firefly, and all the Firefly cast were there, and that's why we went to Edinburgh, just to meet the Firefly cast. And we actually bought Joss Whedon some presents, and we asked the person at the door, just like, is there any way you can get these presents to Joss Whedon? Because we want to thank him for being, you know, our favourite director, and some of our favourite things exist because of him. can you get it to them? And she went away, came back. I said, oh, can you just come in and just follow me for a minute? So we followed them in, and 1 minute we were just in a corridor, the next minute there's Joss Whedon. If you don't know who Joss Whedon is, he's done Marvel stuff. He's just my favourite, and he sat there right in front of me, and apparently they'd said there's a girl in a wheelchair who wants to pass on a present, shall I take it? And they'd just been like, oh, bring her in. And we had a good like 10 minutes just sitting and talking to him, and it was lovely. But it's not a funny story, but it's just like a how did that happen kind of story. I don't have any funny ones, sorry. When I'm in a flare, do I prefer to be on my own or with company? When I'm in a flare and it's really bad, I tend to just stay in bed, and I like my husband to be at home so that I can ask for help if I need it. I hate it if I'm in a flare and I'm completely on my own and he's at work and I'm just at home struggling. I hate that. But as far as having friends and family come and visit, no, because I genuinely just can't hold a conversation. I'm just a blob in bed. That's how it feels when I'm in a flare, and I just kind of lie there watching Netflix on my iPad and not really doing a lot and sleeping. So no to company, yes to husband. One thing I would say to myself back then, because when I first got sick I just finished university, so I think I was like 16 months after finishing a 3-year diploma in nursing, and I'd worked really hard to get to where I was, to build on my confidence, to get to that point. And then one day it just felt like everything was taken away from me, and I had to move back in with my parents, and I was so depressed. I felt like I'd just wasted years of my life. And I would go back and say the best is yet to come. You weren't supposed to be on that path, so just hold on, things will get better. Do I have any unexplained symptoms? Yes, I do. About 12 years ago, I woke up one morning and I couldn't feel anything from the waist down. I could walk-ish, but I couldn't feel my legs. Like, you could stick a knife in it and I wouldn't have felt it, like just completely gone. And I went to the hospital. I was in hospital for like 10 days, and they at the time said it was multiple sclerosis. So my initial diagnosis was MS. And I remember the day we were called into my specialist's office, and he just sat me down and was like, sorry, we misdiagnosed you, it's not MS. You do have neurological symptoms, you do have neurological problems, there is stuff going on, but you were probably born with them, and so we're not going to look into it because there's no point, there's nothing we can do about it now, it's been too long, like it's just the way you are. So those symptoms, like the lack of feeling and bladder problems and the fact that I can't feel my feet properly, that sort of thing, they just don't know what that is. And they won't look into it, so I don't know. Is there anything that cheers me up when I feel ill? Gizmo, my husband, watching something that I can fall asleep, like something I've seen so many times that's heartwarming on Netflix or Amazon. So something like Gilmore Girls, Friends, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, that sort of thing, where I can just have it on and not need any kind of brain power at all to know what's happening, and I can just go to sleep, wake up, go to sleep, wake up. That's lovely. And I love I love my bed. It's the best place to be when I'm not feeling well, so that makes me happy because we've got a lovely bedroom. And that's it. That's the tag. Isn't it fabulous? I will leave links to Georgina's journey and Izzy Kornblau down below, so definitely go check out their videos, check out their channels, give them a little cheeky subscribe. Both girls are fabulous. Hold on a minute though. While you're down there, why not just hit that little subscribe button, ring that little bell, so you always know when I upload. I'm usually here Mondays and Fridays, health permitting. I would love it if you join the tribe, if you just discovered me because of this tag. Hello. I hope you'll stick around. And I am going to tag Nicola Lord, Emily's Life on Wheels, Miss Mary Lou and Amanda Auric. And I will leave links to their channels down below as well. So definitely go check out all the videos, all the channels, all the places. Subscribe, it helps us grow, keeps us going. It's a lovely thing to do, costs you nothing, go and do it. If you enjoyed this video, definitely go down, leave this a thumbs up, let me know that you like this content. Check out all the links and stuff down below. Everything will be down there that you need. If you've been tagged, don't forget to do your video and tag me on Instagram when you do it, because I want to watch all the videos. I love you all so very much. I hope that you have a really wonderful week ahead. I hope you're having a lovely day, and I will see you next time. Bye.